Thank you, Joe. It was interesting you were talking about the voting bloc of the Latinos. This past weekend, I had my family reunion, and if you may have guessed, most of my family members are Democrats. And I got a chance to present Black history and related to my family, because I can go back to 1820. And I got a chance to talk one-on-one with my cousins to tell them that we would not have the 13th Amendment, which is illegalizing, well, slavery, if it wasn't for the Republicans, because all the Democrats voted against that amendment. And at that point, we had 7 Black congressmen. We had 1 Black senator. The president was a Democrat. He vetoed it. If it hadn't been for the Republicans, we would not be free. So I just have to remember the truth about our history. I'd like to bring back Tony as he talks about the voter's guide, and he will also close up the rest of the meeting. Tony?
All right, with our remaining minutes, first thing I'd like to do is give Jody Pitcher from the Conservative Magazine of Illinois, which is being distributed right now, an opportunity to tell us a little bit about their magazine. Again, they are taking subscriptions tonight, so if you like what you see in this magazine, I highly encourage you to go ahead and subscribe to it. You will see in the magazine our voter guide that we spent many hours on. Special thanks goes out to Joan Seifert, who's the head of our voter education team, and she was not able to make it here tonight. She had an unfortunate death in, not in her family, but her daughter, a good friend, died, and so she's there to comfort her daughter. But I do want, if you get a chance, you come back next month, please thank Joan for all the hard work that she put into this. So what I'd like to do is go ahead and give the mic over to Jody, talk a little bit about the magazine.
Thank you. Obviously, my name is Jody, and my husband, Matt, and I started this magazine to strengthen the conservative movement in Illinois. Obviously, you can see it's called the Conservative Magazine of Illinois. We are not party affiliated, but we do advocate on behalf of conservative values 100% of the time. I'm here to tell you why the magazine's success is so important for us. I heard everyone here clap earlier today when someone asked about the November elections. A lot of you are excited. But have you thought about the day after the election and beyond? Here, excuse me. How are we going to keep the elected officials accountable? Just like Joe was just saying just a few minutes ago, it's up to us to keep them accountable. The Conservative Magazine of Illinois will do that. We have been doing it since June was our first issue. We are in it for the long haul, and I don't think they are not counting on us to be there. This magazine will give us the leverage to be on the offense in Illinois. You can take this magazine to your family and your friends and your neighbors. You can drop it off anywhere after you're done reading it and get them engaged, get them involved, and let them be educated voters. That's what we need in Illinois. By Illinois citizens submitting articles, educating the entire state on Illinois affairs, and making us responsible for those that we vote in, will make us accountable to each other as well. The magazine gives the conservatives in Illinois a strong media outlet, which we need in Illinois. It's your voice, and we're just the bullhorn. For example, one of ours in the first issue that we had an article in here about organ donation. And I don't know if everyone knows about it, but it's SB 3613, and it was Dale Reisinger and some other people here up in Crystal Lake area who have introduced that if you will automatically be an organ donor and you will be opt out of that, which means we had some questions and we asked these questions. There are questions that we thought were important that he couldn't answer yet. Like, how are they going to get that information out to everybody? What are the repercussions of people not knowing that they're automatically an organ donor? We had several other questions, and that was just in our June issue. We broke that story. We're the only ones that are on your side. There's a lot of media out there, but are they actually advocating on your behalf like we are? Exactly. Your $39.99 subscription is for 12 issues plus the one that you would have today, which is on us. Goes to research, our website, printing costs, the postage, the layout, the writers, and the time it takes to produce this magazine. We have to decide now, what are we going to do for Illinois? This election may be big, but it's our future that's more important. I want you guys to take a look at the magazine. Inside of the magazine, you do have a card. You can fill this card out and drop it off at the table in the back. And if you don't have any money to subscribe today, that's okay. We'll invoice you and just send it in the mail. I hope you guys all enjoy the magazine because we enjoy putting it together. We are in it for the long haul, like I said before. Anyone who subscribes today, 10% of all subscriptions today will go back to your organization. So for example, if there were 100 subscriptions, that's $400 back to your group. And that's our way of saying we want the conservative movement in Illinois to make a difference today, to now, and forever. Thank you.
So we're going to have you come back and speak for us sometime. You've got fire in the belly. I love that. All right, the next few slides I'm going to go through, and I'm not going to spend a lot of time on them, but I do want to explain how our voter guide was developed. So, and because I don't have notes, I'm going to have to look at the screen. Can I get the traveling mic? All right, and I'm going to actually stand back here if you guys don't mind, and kind of look this way. All right, so this, as Jody had says, is not just another election. Am I blocking anybody? Probably. You okay? All right, I'll go way back here. How's that? We are fighting a war to protect and preserve our God-given freedoms. It is not sufficient to merely wait until election day to vote our conscience and hope that others do the same. We might be committed to educating others on the issues. We must be committed to educating people on the issues and where the candidates stand, and everyone needs to be informed, get involved, and make a difference. All hands on deck. That was the rally cry, if you will, for the voter guide. So our objective was to develop a nonpartisan voter guide that is simple to use and effective in evaluating candidates for the November elections. We rated over 50 candidates from Lake McHenry and parts of Cook County. Create a tool that other conservative grassroots organizations can use in their communities and equip our members to be aware, get involved, make a difference. And as you'll note in the magazine, on the other side of the voter's guide, there's an actual case study of how we went about developing the guide. So I'm not going to read off here. Our approach did include, though, a rating of different levels of candidates. And this was as of the June 21st filing deadline. So any candidates after that deadline who didn't get on the ballot did not make it into the voter guide. We rated candidates based on voting history, publicly available documents, articles and papers written, campaign websites, information and personal conversations with candidates or their campaign staff. We used 10 criteria developed from the principles. We used a 5-star rating. It's a measure of how the candidates were rated using these 10 criteria. We do provide notes alongside the ratings, the 5-star rating. Those notes are not meant to be an exhaustive explanation of the rating. They're meant only to give additional commentary. And some candidates had very little publicly available data. So for them, we either did not rate them or we stated in the comments that there was very little data. I will not read off all those 10 rating criteria, but I think they're actually in the article, so you'll see them there. So how did the results pan out? Well, 1 stars, how many? 21. 2 stars, 5. There were 12 3 stars. There were 5 candidates who got 4 stars. And there were 9 candidates that got 5 stars. Our zone, if you want to call it that, for those candidates that we are going to be supporting are in the 4 and 5 range. And we had 58 candidates, 6 of them not rated. So the winners are, and if they're in the room, we invite them to stand up. 4s, Robert Enriquez, Wallace Dunn, George Ortiz, Willard Helander, and Robert Skidmore. And the 5-star candidates are Bill Brady, Jason Plummer for governor, Dan Rutherford, Diane Winter, Ann Jorgensen, Mary Shostak, Joe Walsh. Dan Segru, Joanne Osmond, and John O'Neill. Okay, so before we go, let me just say a closing comment about why the voter guide is important. Well, number one, not everybody has time to go out and research all those candidates, right? How many of you have busy lives and you appreciate it when somebody else does the research for you? Yeah? All right. Number two, I just want to make a bit of a disclaimer. This is only a guide. That's why we use the word guide. It's not meant to be the end-all on whether these are good candidates or not. Okay? Some of you believe very strongly in some of the candidates who got lower ratings, and that's fine. Because in the end, when you're standing in that voter booth, if they're still better than the opposition, you're going to vote for them, right? Right. Okay? So just keep that in mind. This is only a guide. It was our best attempt with very little time. We're a very young organization. We're going to be able to refine this process over the years as we get more and more savvy on how to do this. And we invite you to be involved in this process next time around. So if you have a passion for learning and researching the candidates, we invite you to be a part of that team next time around. Lastly, a lot of talk tonight about the Republicans. Is this a Republican organization? No, it is not. However, right now, this election cycle, the candidates that you see on our 4s and 5 lists represent what we believe to be the closest to the conservative mission and vision that we have right now. Okay? So I encourage you, if you're saying tonight, I didn't come here to be part of the Republican Party, I understand that. And I'm not, although I am very active in the Republican Party, I am not first and foremost a Republican. Okay, I'm first and foremost an American, right? And I made Dominic sweat a little bit because I'm a precinct committeeman and he's my chair. Okay, so guys, I really hope that you enjoyed what you got here tonight. We wanted to inform you. We wanted to give you an opportunity to listen to some great speakers. We wanted to give you something you can take away, talk to your neighbors about, something that will really help you communicate why November is so important. Are you starting to get it? Good. Okay. So let's roll. All right.